Hello, top of the day to you, and thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Local Pulse, a production of Quadripoint Communications. My name is Mwendaluvi Maumbi, and today our interviewee, or should I say the person I'll be conversating with, is aspiring to be the mayor of the great city of Livingstone. In introducing yourself, I like the aspect that when I was arranging the interview with you, you mentioned that you had some school runs before you come here, so you're a family man. So in introducing yourself, I just wanted to say big up for that. I think we need more gentlemen like that. And we are in Mukuni Park. Tell us a little bit more about yourself and also what this place means to you, just briefly.
Okay, yes, no, thanks, Mandaluvi. I'm Benson Kayuma. That's my name. I'm aspiring for mayor for the city of Livingstone, yes. I've been in Livingstone since 1984. And of course, I started my primary school here in Livingstone at Holy Cross. And of course, over the years, I'd stepped out of Livingstone for different reasons. But all in all, been a Livingstoner since 1984.
Okay.
Got married here. And I've got 6 children, 5 of them born in Livingstone, and that's why I had those school runs. So yes, and yeah, Mukuni Park, this is a place I spent a lot of time when I was growing up. I came here with my friends, siblings to come and play here. That time we didn't even have a fence around it.
Oh.
Yeah, it was sort of like, well, there was a fence, but I think all the gates on the 4 sides were open, and you could just literally walk in. And so we used to come and play here when we were kids. We buy sweets from the little shop across the road there, and we come and sit here and eat them and suck on them, and yeah. So.
Okay. So you've been around for quite a while in Livingstone.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk to now the reason why I wanted to have a conversation with you. What led you to wanting to become the mayor?
Okay, yeah, very good question. I think for me, really, is service. At the heart of all of this is service, and I truly mean what I'm saying. That I stepped in just for service, just to I mean, I'm giving myself up to the residents of Livingstone, so that I can serve them, because I feel like I've got ideas. I feel like I've also got the technical expertise, the passion for the city, and just generally, I think the governance qualities needed. I think I do step up to that. So I felt, it's something I could offer my city and see what we can do together.
Okay, so it's one thing to aspire, it's one thing to look at it like, okay, I want to be the mayor. You've been campaigning now for at least a couple of weeks.
Yes.
From your campaign trail, what would you say are the top 5 problems or challenges that you've noticed? Right.
Yeah, that's very good. That's very good. I've been to, I think so far we've done quite a couple of wards, and there's some points that are resonating in all of them.
Okay.
And the first one that I've noticed is that the residents are complaining that the leaders are absent. They're absent from the communities. Almost everywhere we've gone, they're telling us to say, if we vote for you, what guarantee do we have that you're going to be coming back to see us and understand our problem? So that one has been very, very strong. I think, so obviously that calls for us leaders to step up our game and really just be in the communities, especially if you're a civic leader. I think you need to be present.
Okay.
So that's the first thing. The second thing is services. Like we've been to markets, we visited some markets, and the marketeers were complaining about the services. I mean, the states of their markets. Simple things like shelters, drainages, market stands, and stuff like that. So basically, I think that's been. I mean, if you go to other areas, similar. It's the roads. The road network is not in a good state. Garbage collection is very poor, erratic. So I think I would say that would be second. Thirdly, I would say the issue of youth empowerment, women empowerment. I think that also has been coming out very strong. A lot of, especially parents, have been complaining that their children, around about late teens, early 20s, mid 20s, they don't have anything to do, you know. So that's been another strong one. And then I think the fourth one is to do mostly with the council, you know, how the Livingstone City Council approaches situations in the communities, how they deal with the residents, you know. So I think it's more to do with probably relations between the local authority and the residents.
Okay.
I think there's been a huge challenge there. And then I think the fifth one, I would say, I would probably put it on the water situation, and this is the rural areas. You know, Livingstone, we've got rural areas like in Shungu Ward, Simonga. We went to Simonga. We went to Shungu. We haven't yet been to Kasia. So obviously there, they just have boreholes, for instance.
Okay.
And they're complaining that sometimes they have to go long distances to where water is, and especially when it's dry, there's no, you know, the water levels. I think the water table goes down, so there's a bit of a challenge there with water. And then inner city, where you even have piped water, but half the time there's no water coming out of the taps, and if it does, it's not as clean. So water is also another big challenge. So those are the five, I'd say, where we're coming out strongly.
All right. Were you surprised to find them? Have you had a look at, for instance, the 8th National Development Plan, the Cities Integrated Development Plan, and other documents that are there? Because I like to think that for 2026, there's a lot of information that's there. Did it take you going into those areas to realize that these challenges are there, or they resonate with what's contained in the documents?
Yes, no, actually, I have seen those documents. I have read most of those documents. I mean, and others as well from cooperating partners, which they, from time to time they come and do some work, and then they publish their findings. And I think that it was more like confirmation, I think, with what's already in those documents.
Okay.
Yes, I think it was more like confirmation, but maybe sometimes it's, you actually get to, you see, when you're reading a statistic, it's different when you actually go on the ground and see how that statistic is affecting residents. You know, if they tell you how the water situation, how bad the water situation is. So yes, you can read about it and you say, look, there's a challenge with water, but then how is it affecting them? Then they tell you the real life experience of not having water. You know, they tell you about the challenges their children have going to school when there's no water at home. So you sort of like try and put the two together, and then you get a full understanding.
Okay. So one of the challenges you noticed, the sentiment you say is across, is a disconnect. Citizens feeling, you know, they're not in touch with their leaders. The WDCs, those are the legally selected channels through which communities at least access then the local government system, which you will be joining.
Yes.
Where do you think the actual challenge is in that?
Right.
Yeah.
I think also probably I'd say a little bit of awareness is needed. Maybe not a little bit, but a lot of awareness I think is needed. We need to sensitize the public. We need to sensitize the Livingstone residents that there's this structure, you know, WDC, which is the World Development Committee. I think a lot of people do not understand that there are these committees in place, and therefore they tend to think that only their elected leaders, such as the mayor or the MP, have to be on the ground all the time. I think there's a lot of awareness that's needed in that space.
Okay, what are you going to do different from what you're doing, from what's happening now?
Right.
Because I do know the council It's actually one of their KPIs, and organizations that are TIZ keep a pulse on such things.
Yeah.
They do engage the communities.
Right, right.
So what are you going to do different from what's happening now to close this gap
Okay.
that many residents are feeling?
Okay, I totally understand what you mean. And I think for me, coming into this race, one of the things I said, because I actually started hearing this problem of leaders being absent from the communities. I've been hearing it for a long time now, for a couple of years now. So one of the things I was saying was, I think as a leader, sometimes if there's an issue that needs to be attended to, it's always good, I think, to take the lead. That's why you're a leader. So if the residents feel like they need to regularly see their mayor, then I think I must step up to that, because that's what they want.
Okay.
So, like, even where we went in the ones that we visited so far, they're saying we want to see you regularly. You know.
So because you've had this, when they say we want to see our leaders, what do you suppose they mean? Like, you just show up, you take a walk in the community, or when they see you, you give them a little something,
Right,
or you say something? What exactly do they mean?
No,
and is it, from your understanding also, is it really something that can make a difference in what, for example, the mayor is supposed to deliver on?
Yes, yes. I think what they want is they want to. They actually do want to see you physically. That's something that was coming out strongly. So they want to see you. Of course, I mean, I understand that office comes with a lot of responsibility. So you can't every day go out in the community. You know, you have to. But I think the way I'm interpreting it is that we need to schedule it into the scheme of work for that office, whereby it could be maybe you're meeting them at Maramba Town Hall, for instance. You have a meeting about certain issues, or you do inspections of certain projects that are happening and have a talk with them to be seen to be leading projects.
Okay.
You know, so if you're doing a project and you look, when you're having a groundbreaking, the mayor or a government dignitary will be there, and you do the groundbreaking, and then off you go, and then you never come back for that to see how that project is doing. So I think what they're saying is, yes, you come, you do your groundbreaking, or you introduce a new policy. We want to see you come back and see how it's doing, so that we can also give you feedback.
Okay.
So I think that's the general feedback that I was getting.
All right. Now, from presentations by the council to stakeholders, the goal is to transform Livingstone into a global competitive tourism hub with a resilient local economy. From the challenges that you've identified, the top 5, and your motivation to be mayor, are those aligning?
With turning Livingstone into a top tourism destination.
Yes.
We've got a lot of work to do, I think. There's a bit of work to do for Livingstone. And the reason I'm saying that is because as a top tourism destination that we aspire to be, I think we need to start comparing ourselves with other destinations, which mostly will not even be in Zambia. So it means that our benchmarking should not be with other towns within Zambia. So we need to start benchmarking ourselves. I mean, imagine somebody that's traveling from Europe, they're planning to come to Africa for a holiday. And then, so it means you're putting yourselves up against destinations like Mauritius, Cape Town, other destinations in Tanzania, in Kenya, East Africa. You know, they're quite good in that space. Botswana. So you have to benchmark yourself with those other destinations. So those items, those issues that I spoke about, the 5, we need to work on them, because I think you can't be a top destination when you have ailing infrastructure, you have erratic water supply, you have situations with, high crime rate arising from youth unemployment and so on. So really, we have to get down and deal with those issues before we can attain that aspiration.
between 2022 and I think just a few months ago, the vendors had moved away from most of the areas, but now they are back. You have people that are selling in the streets.
Right.
As mayor, how are you going to balance the act of, protecting people's livelihoods and also enforcing the bylaws which are there, which prohibit trading in those areas? Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one. I wouldn't say it's going to be as straightforward as drinking water, but I think that we need to approach it in a holistic way. And when I say holistic, it's you've got to get all the stakeholders to sit down and discuss this. Yes, there are bylaws. Yes, you can send council police to go and chase them out of the spaces. But then, like you said, those are their livelihoods. That's where they earn their living from. So you've got to approach it with a lot of maturity. You've got to approach it with solutions. You've got to find solutions. So if, say, the issue is that we don't have enough market stands, okay, so what do we do? I mean, so you've got to find market spaces for them, So I think that
is that what the issue is now, though?
Well, it might not be, because I know, like, I think there's some markets that have got enough space, but because there's no business maybe going to those markets, so they tend to move away from the markets, and then they come into the city where the customer is. But that's why I'm saying that you have to deal with it in a holistic way. Why isn't there business going to the markets? So we've got to find a solution as to why there's no traffic into these markets. You've got to find a solution as to why residents, customers are not willing to walk to the market, or rather they'll just want to buy things off the corridors. So that's the reason I'm saying we've got to deal with it holistically. Otherwise, if you just say it's the council and the vendor, then the fight, in my view, will always carry on. So we've got to bring everybody on board, and then including the vendors, not just the technocrats and civil society, but I think the vendors themselves have to be at that table. Of course, the Livingstone City Council, other relevant government departments that might be of help, like social welfare and so on. So let's get everybody, we sit down, we talk about this, and we find a way forward.
Okay. Obviously, there's certain things that are happening. Maybe the reinforcement is not there. But I want to roll back again to some of the challenges, the top 5 challenges that you mentioned. The issue of unemployment and empowerment. Livingstone is largely tourism-based, but that's a very fragile industry. We saw what happened when there was COVID-19.
Yes.
And even year in, year out, there's a slump in tourism between, I think, around October to probably like mid-February.
Right.
Any ideas around how such a challenge will you work on it?
Yes, great. Yeah. So we've got tourism, yes, as our mainstay at the moment. But I think when you look at Livingstone and how it's placed, how it's positioned, I think there's a few other industries that we can work towards harnessing. The other one being agriculture. I think if you look at wards like Kasia and Simonga, they already have agriculture going on there, especially Simonga. You have a lot of commercial presence there. Probably what we just have to do is to maybe help the locals also to just come up and take advantage of agriculture. I think that's one area that we can do very well to exploit. The other one I see is logistics. Livingstone is pretty much sitting at the Quadripoint. I know it's Kazungula where the Quadripoint is, but I mean it's only 60 kilometers from Livingstone, and Livingstone being a bigger town, bigger city than Kazungula, so it can take advantage of the border, being at the border of 3 other countries. So I think the logistics sector is something that we can work on. I've been thinking about, of course, these are not going to be short term, but I've been thinking about things like establishing dry ports, establishing economic zones. I know there's one coming up in Chief Sekuta's area. Yeah, so already that's a positive sign. It's in Kazungula, but it can also extend to Livingstone. So I think those are industries, those are sectors that we can exploit. The other one, which is very big and world over, it's reckoning millions, if not billions, in profits, is the recycling industry. We're complaining about the waste, the garbage in Livingstone, and we've got so much of it here. We can actually turn that into a very, very big industry where we recycle. So other than, we can start by sorting, and then eventually we move towards the actual recycling itself, setting up plants for recycling and so on. So those are some of the areas I think we can harness economic opportunities from.
Okay, so a lot of what you say is actually makes up what has been spoken about already, and is even in documents, like it's written. When you take office as mayor, if you're elected, that is, you'll be working at the council.
Yes.
And there's established departments. There's a town clerk handling the entire council. How are you going to be working as a mayor to kind of change things from what they currently are to help achieve some of the things that you have?
Yes, you're very right. Yes, there are some of those things actually are in the documents, like the IDP, Integrated Development Plan, and maybe others. And I think what we need to do is lift those plans off the shelves. I think for far too long we've been talking about these issues. I think even tourism, we haven't even harnessed half of it, to be honest, even though I didn't talk about it. But tourism, there's so much to be gotten from it. But I think what we need to do is lift those off the shelves. We need to lift those ideas off the ground from the documents.
That? Because I think that's the idea, that they put them, they document them so that you know they can be used. Like how, as mayor, are you going to ensure that happens?
Correct, excellent. Yeah. So to start with, I mean, if you've got it in your document, so you've got to sit down and say, look, well, we've got planning. There's annual planning that goes on in all these local authorities, Livingstone City Council included. So we need to start getting from the IDP, some of those ideas. We start getting them and then start incorporating them into our annual plans as Livingstone City Council. So what happens is, when you bring them into the annual plans, it means then it also feeds into the budgeting process. So when you get them into the budgeting process, so then it means that idea has moved from the integrated plan into an annual plan. From the annual plan, it feeds into a budget process. And then eventually it also goes down to a work plan, down to departmental level. And if it's not done, why isn't it done? Somebody should answer for it. So if as council we've said, look, of course we can't do everything that is in the IDP, but we can say for this year, we're going to pick maybe 3 items, and then we bring them into the annual plans, into the budgets, into the work plans for the departments. So you're very
knowledgeable about that process, and I've seen documents to actually prove that, that's actually what happens even now. From the IDP, from whichever documents, the presidential directives and all of that, they are very well documented on paper. And even as a council, they do have those plans. And even when you look at the their Facebook page, when you look to issues of garbage, for instance, they will say, it's routine, garbage collection is routine, but we still see a lot of dirt. So what Bain Spice, if I may put it that way, are you going to bring, and what tools maybe are you going to utilize to ensure that a lot of what is already happening actually does translate into tangible results?
I mean, look, it's when you have a plan. It's supposed to be executed, and I think the execution is also well defined. And if you properly do it, your annual plans, your budgeting, your work plans, everything, you name all those documents in between, and you put what I like to call a time budget. You know, you have a time frame. Of course, you're budgeting usually 12-month cycle, but then you've got to break it down to per month, to per quarter, per month, per week, per day. So I don't see why you shouldn't achieve what's in the IDP if what you're doing is the correct thing, because the plan is there, the budget is there, the work plan is there. So who in the budget, who in the work plan is not doing their part? And I think that's what we need to single out. So what I would be doing as mayor really is oversight. Yes, oversight, the town clerk and her directors and the departments below her. And we have to hold them to account to say, look, we said we were going to do this in Q1, quarter one. Where are we today? The quarter one has ended. Have we achieved what we said we're going to achieve in quarter one? Because all that will be in your work plans. And if they haven't, they should tell us why they haven't. What challenges did they have? And how do we surmount those challenges? So it's a continuous process. I think, and that's one of the reasons why I supported the idea of the mayor becoming an executive position, so that it's a full-time job. So it's a full-time job I would have to be doing, and I'd have to be going through all these reports pretty much on a daily basis. So really, I think we have to get down to the
I'm trying to reconcile because, like I said, a lot of I think we are where we are not because we don't know what needs to be done or what the challenges are.
Right.
Very well documented, certain processes followed. What's your knowledge with regards the funding streams at the council, and are they adequate to provide solutions to some of those challenges that you've?
Yeah.
It's a mouthful the question, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, thanks. I think that, of course, they've got, the Livingstone City Council has got a number of streams, revenue streams, maybe 7, 8, around about a dozen or so.
Can you name them?
Including property rates, I think, levies, fees from markets and bus stations, rental income, permits and licenses and so on. Yes, and there could be a few others that I may not think of right now. But yes, are they adequate? I would say maybe not adequate. Not adequate in the sense that you can increase the streams, number one. Number two, you can increase the already existing streams by, for instance, tightening the revenue process itself. You know, how revenue is collected. First of all, how revenue is conceived, how the revenue is collected, how it is accounted for. So I think if you worked on those two things, then certainly you can increase the revenue for the local authority. If you want to talk about revenue streams, they can increase their revenue streams. One of them I can give you an example of is waste management. We're complaining about waste management, but if you introduced a smart waste management system, and by that I mean a system that sorts waste out from pretty much from source, where you have plastic on its own, paper, glass, metal, bio, and all those things. What that means is that in today's world, recycling has become a very big industry, and if Livingstone City Council can sort the entire citywide waste, sort it out from source up to the point of where it can be compressed, then the Livingstone City Council can earn a lot of money by selling plastic, selling metal, selling paper, and selling glass. Okay, that's one stream. Because obviously this waste is there, it's free. You just go and collect it. All you have to do is invest in a proper collection system. The other thing is the council can go into, there's a lot of properties in Livingstone, some of them under the council itself, which I feel the council can either invest in themselves or go into partnerships, what I would like to call public-private partnerships. You know, there's a big drive from central government, from the government, to do with public-private partnerships. Okay, and we already have examples of that that have been done in other areas. Livingstone City Council should not shy away from taking up such challenges.
They do have an investment profile. There was an investment expo for Southern Province.
Yes.
So I think some of those things.
Yeah.
But you'll be mayor, and like I mentioned earlier, you'll be working with the council. What tools are you going to be using? For example, the issue of waste is something that's been spoken about for a long time. With the solution that you're proposing, how as mayor, and if you can, provide the exact tools you will use to make sure that, you know, what you're speaking about truly does become a reality.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I think if you were to talk about a system that is in place to ensure that we deliver what is being conceived, what is being passed in the council, okay? I think the system is already there. That's what I think. That's what I know, actually. But I think what we just need to do is to follow it through at every stage of it, to make sure that what has been set to be done is actually done. I think that area there's a bit of laggishness, if I may use that term, because I think, look, if we've passed resolutions as a council as to what the city aspires, and then that is converted into plans, then, like I said earlier, then it should naturally just flow through. But what is stopping delivery being achieved? Something in the plan, something along the system is not working. So that's something, we've got to find it and deal with it.
Okay, so you haven't found that something, but you will deal with it.
Yes, because obviously, like, I would like to imagine that if you have those plans in the IDP, you said, okay, those things are there in the IDP, in the is it investment profile? Did you say
the investment profile?
In the investment profile? So surely, my job will be very easy in that respect, because I just have to run through the whole process and see where the challenge is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's a 5-year term that you're going to be in, should you be voted in. Say 3 years down the line, for all the 20 wards in both constituencies, what can citizens look forward to seeing as a tangible benefit of having you as mayor?
Okay. Right. I think that from the get-go, a clean Livingstone will start materializing. I think by year 3, we should start seeing clean spots in this city. Green spots. You know, we've got to clean Livingstone, we've got to green Livingstone, and then also we must start seeing a change in the makeup of the youth situation, youth empowerment, skills development, and as well as when I talk about the youth, I'm also talking about the women. I think at that point we should start seeing a difference. It might not be everything achieved. I think it's a lot of work to be done, but I think, like you asked, if something tangible, what would they see by year 3? I would like to imagine that there won't be any waste lying around by year 3.
Okay.
There won't be any waste lying around, and I think we'll have a nice, orderly Livingstone with streets properly named. Number one, the streets are named and they're actually labeled. And then we should have nice spots in the city, in the townships. The parks must get back to order. Yes, it requires a lot of investment, but surely, for a start, let's keep them sane. You know, let's keep them nice, orderly, green, put some plants there, just make sure that there's water there. I think such things will start showing.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. like you mentioned, politicians come and go. They make promises and then disappear. For those that are watching and would like to tell others about your ambition to be mayor, why should they trust that what you're saying is what you actually do?
I must tell you this, Mwendalubi, that at the beginning of the year, I didn't think I was going to stand. I didn't think I was going to stand. But I think as we were getting closer to this nomination, the nomination process for the elections in August, I thought about certain things. There are some individuals who approached me and spoke to me about the possibility of considering, going for office. And I didn't think about it, like I said. But I think the thing that also made me say, let me try, let me go in for it, was to just say, because I know that it can be done. I know that what I'm saying can be done. I know that what I've been talking about over the years can be done. And my thinking is that I want to prove it to Livingstone residents that it can be done. And I'm putting my head on the chopping board right now. All those things I said, they can be done. If they're not done, there must be a reason why they are not done. And I'll be the first one to tell the Livingstone residents to say, look, I promised you that we were going to clean the city. There should be no garbage lying around. It has failed. It has failed. I have failed. It has failed. And it has failed because of these 10 reasons. Okay. At least I will say that. And I can say it now. So this is just to assure the residents that I'm coming in with good intentions. And I think that with the passion that I have for this city and what I've seen this city from what it was in the 80s and what it is today, I think I mean well.
Yeah. All right. Okay. If there's anything that I did not ask you about that you would like to get off your chest or speak about, now's your moment.
Okay. Yes. Livingstone is a tourism destination. Like I said earlier, we're competing against many other destinations, and I think that we've got a lot of work to do. We've got to fix Livingstone. We've got a lot of work to do in different areas, and this is all, like, I call it packaging Livingstone. We've got to make Livingstone attractive. When a visitor comes to Livingstone, whether it's a local tourist or whether it's a tourist from abroad, we should leave a mark on their mind. We should leave a mark on their brain to say, I want to come back to Livingstone, or I'm going to recommend Livingstone to somebody. Much the same way when you go to Cape Town. Because I've been to Cape Town, and a lot of people that have been there, they always say, I'm going to go back to Cape Town. Let's make Livingstone that sort of city. Like, your experience should be something that is memorable. And how do we do that? We do that by making all the many assets that Livingstone has that we've not harnessed. We're not squeezing enough juice out of them. I think that we have to move in that direction. So I would like to say that we need to exploit tourism to the max. We haven't done as much. I think right now, if you ask me, my guess would be we're probably only exploiting 25-30% of Livingstone's tourism potential before we can even talk about going to other industries.
All right.
Other sectors.
For today, we'll end here.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot to talk about. We would speak with you again before the elections.
I look forward to that.
Thank you for making the time to be with us.
Thank you, Mwendalubi.
And thank you for watching. My name is Mwendalubi Maumbi. This is Local Pulse. We'll see you again next time.